Yo, what up YouTube? Ryu Maximus here, and today I'm going to be bringing you a deck list for a deck that for me will probably work better than my Dark Magician deck list that I brought to you a while ago. This deck does not rely on the extra deck at all, just like my Dark Magician deck profile, but this deck really doesn't rely on it. So without further ado, I'm going to get into this deck list. So, this deck list is going to be my Cyber Angel deck list. So I will start off with the Cyber Angel cards that you run. You run three Ben 10. Ben 10 helps you search out when she's tributed. Helps you search out a fairy. Yeah, a light fairy type monster from your deck and add it to your hand. Next, I run 2 Idolin. Would be 3 if I could find my third. Idolin, when she's tributed, bumps all ritual monsters' attack and defense up by 1,000. I think that affects stacks. I'm not 100% sure about that. Next, you run 2 Cyber Angel Natasha. And Natasha is really helpful because you banish one other Cyber Angel in your graveyard and target one monster your opponent controls, special summon her, and take control of that target. Next, for the one-ofs of the Cyber Angels, you run one of each of your big boss monsters, so your Cyber Angel Dakini and your Cyber Angel Vrash. Dakini, during your end phase, allows you to add a ritual Machine Angel so when she's ritual summoned, you can make your opponent send one card from their hand to the graveyard of their choice. If a ritual monster I control attacks a defense position, you control attacks a defense position monster, it inflicts piercing battle damage to your opponent, and once per turn during your end phase, you can take one ritual monster or one Machine Angel ritual in your graveyard and add it to your hand. So, helps with recyclability, and then Vrash also helps with recyclability and helps to prevent your your Cyber Angel helps to prevent spell, trap, or monster effects by shuffling in one ritual monster back into your deck. Next up, and that's it for the Cyber Angel rituals. The next ritual monster is probably the best card in the entire deck, which would be your Herald of Perfection. Herald of Perfection allows you to just ditch any fairy type monster from your hand to the graveyard to negate the activation of anything. Spell, trap, monster effect, and destroy it. That's it for the ritual monsters, and then next up for the monsters, you play Triple Manju. Manju helps you switch out any of your ritual monsters or any of your ritual spell cards. So, very helpful to start getting off plays and helps you, and if you have him on the field, you can instantly just go into a Natasha. Natasha's other effect is that you can gain half of the attack points of one monster you control. Next, you play Triple Honest. This card being back at 3 really helps the deck. Because if they manage to get over your 3k beater, which is technically a 5k beater, I guess. 5 or 6k beater if you have, depending on if you have 3 Idolins. They can get over 6k, a 6k attacker. You can just ditch Honest to get over that. Like, you can attack over anything, but they can't attack over you. It also helps your opponent from attacking if they think you have an Honest in hand. Next is probably one of the most important engines for the entire deck. You run Triple Scepter, and Triple Chair. Star Seraph Sovereignty and Star Seraph Scepter. These, honestly, just Sovereignty helps you draw a card. And if you manage, and you can probably play Adelphoros in the deck, in your extra deck, even though you don't need the extra deck. Because you run essentially 6 ways to get him. You only need a Star Seraph Scepter and then 2 Sovereignties, and then Sovereignty also just helps you deck thin by letting you draw cards when it's special summoned. Next, I run 2 Cyber Petite Angels. Cyber Petite Angel allows you to get a Machine Angel Ritual or a Cyber Angel monster from your deck to your hand. So it's helpful, and that's when it's summoned, so you can bring it back. You can special summon off of another card that you have in the deck. I'll explain that later. Next, I run 1 Arcwood Christia. If I have exactly 4 fairy type monsters in my graveyard, if you have exactly 4 fairy type monsters in your graveyard, you can special summon and then just add 1 back to hand. So, really helpful. And if it would be sent from the field to the graveyard, you just send it. You just put it back on top of your deck. So essentially, you will never deck out unless your opponent can make you draw a ton. And then 1 Barrier Statue of the Heavens. This is searchable off of Benton and basically prevents your opponent from special summoning any monsters but light. So this really shuts down a lot of meta decks by basically saying, oh, you don't control light monsters, you can no longer special summon. You don't have any light monsters in your deck, no longer can you special summon. Next up is the spell cards. This deck does not run any traps, surprisingly, because it doesn't actually need them. Next up, I run for the spells. I run 2 Machine Angel Absolute Ritual. This just helps with recyclability. Honestly, that's the only reason I run it. Is because you can either tribute from your hand. You must also tribute monsters from your hand or field and or shuffle fairy or warrior type monsters whose levels equal exactly that of the ritual monster that you want to summon, the Cyber Angel ritual monster. Next, because you run Herald of Perfection, you run 2 Dawn of the Herald. It also helps get your Ben 10, because normally you use your Ben 10 to get your Herald of Perfection, so you can just get your Ben 10 back to hand. Next, you run 3 Machine Angel Rituals. With another card in the deck, you can easily switch this out. You can easily get this to hand, and you can recycle this as many times as necessary. That's it for the ritual spells. Next up, you run 3 Pre-Preparation of Rites. Basically allows you to get ritual monsters and ritual spells to hand quickly. 1 Preparation of Rites. Kind of same deal with pre-prep, but only you can only add a level 7 or lower. It can only be level 7 or lower ritual monsters. And then finally, for the field spell, I run 2 Ritual Sanctuary. Ritual Sanctuary is a card that I said works really well with your Cyber Petite Angel. You just shuffle as many you can shuffle as many spell cards as you want from your graveyard into your deck, and then target 1 light fairy type monster in your graveyard whose levels equal the number of cards you shuffled into the deck, and special summon it. Or you can discard a spell card, add 1 light ritual monster or a ritual spell card from your deck to your hand. This has been my Cyber Angel deck list. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Please leave a like, comment, or subscribe. And make sure to hit the bell notification if you subscribe. to keep up to date with any new content, any and all new content that I have for the channel. Thanks and peace.